Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6th sense for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the chains. Can't control me. I got the power, I got the keys, cause I break the chains. They try to hold me, I'ma push back, just wait.
Just look around. You got the mountains, you got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. You know, the old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
Yeah, I didn't sign any mustard bottles or golf balls. Maybe wish I had had a golf ball that night, you know what I mean? But I'm only kidding. All right.
It's, you know, here it's Tennessee, so, you know, we're going to get the best guys here. You know, that's just every year. Every time we're out there, it's competition. You know, nobody has a spot, nobody's comfortable. We're all working to get better.
Just making sure that the little things are taken care of, like getting our cleats in the dirt and just playing.
What we have to do is make sure that we got our cleats in the ground before the ball is snapped. I think that's the key to the game, and make sure that
just get our cleats in the ground, execute calls, the urgency of communicating and getting lined up.
Yeah, you got to get your cleats in the ground and you got to go play.
Oh my God, we should leave it at that.
Okay.
We should close with that. That is the mind blower of mind blowers.
Good.
If it hurts, you ain't breaks, we'll get you, don't let us put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, through the games after this win in. Rush you again, we're here for the first minute. Can everybody keep it there for 6 minutes?
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm Dauber.
I'm Balls. JP, what's up?
Hey, JP, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Are your cleats in the ground?
My cleats are in the ground. What is up with that? That is that
That's how you stop Tennessee? That's how you
there's
stop
like four coaches that have said that, or three coaches and a player. Yeah, that's crazy.
Apparently, all you got to do is get your cleats in the ground. You can stop this offense.
Hey, Boogie, you got your cleats in the ground for this show?
My cleats are dug in the ground, son. I'm ready to go.
Let's get it.
Look at your beautiful lighting. Your face looks so beautiful. Why am I blue? I can be either blue, orange, or red.
I'll go blue.
You're like beautiful lighting.
It is nice, Dauber. Yeah. You got some nice. I'm sitting here all like plain and looks like I'm almost gray or something.
I shaved all the gray out of my beard.
JP, you look all natural. Dauber looks elevated. Like, I feel like this is CGI. Like, his internet doesn't work, but he's got that CGI beautiful mustache. I got to figure out his lighting. Maybe he's got a makeup artist. Maybe that's
maybe so. Yeah.
Hey, welcome to the Wednesday
show.
He's got
a different background too, right?
Does he? Where you been, JP?
Is it not different, Dauber?
Dauber, I look at you in the eye when you're talking. JP doesn't.
Dude, I moved. This
A
is
long time ago.
Whole new setup.
But
Where
this
you
is
been?
not the same that it's been the last few weeks, has it? Or maybe
JP,
it's just the color.
It's 2022, JP. It's 2022. Welcome
All
to
right.
the party. And welcome
Can
to
you
the
hear me
Talkin
now?
VAWLS Network. It's the Wednesday show. Always going to be a good time. Welcome. Make sure you guys smash the thumbs up on the way in. We're going to talk a little bit about South Carolina. I said we got to do something different, man. We've been talking about the college football playoff and the rankings and all this stuff. I figured we would kick things off tonight with a little Shane Beamer, because what makes you more happy than seeing South Carolina's head coach act exactly like Butch Jones? So it'll be great. It'll be great. I'm not going to listen to his full 32-minute press conference.
Please don't.
But I've got some good moments keyed up. We'll go through it. If you guys get bored with it, let us know. We'll shut it down and we'll just jump into the show. Let's run down the chat, see who's hanging out tonight. Sammy P is here. Thoughts for next year. Milton Holiday will be the connection. The SEC can't stop.
Squirrel White.
Yeah, I think it's Brew McCoy, Ramel Keaton, and Squirrel White. I think that's the connection we're going to see. Jimmy,
He's going to be somebody from the transfer portal end up at Tennessee at wide receiver next year, fellas.
I think there's going to be a couple in the portal on the way out the door too. One of them's named Jimmy Callaway,
and it might be, but there's going to be some wide receiver playing for somebody that's not happy. It's like, oh man, I can go to Tennessee and catch some touchdowns. So we'll see.
It's going to be a fun transfer portal season. I cannot wait to cover it. I can't wait to cover it. Inside baseball. Talking to my wife about the next few months and like the way the channel is going to go and how it's, and I'm like, recruiting's going to be good. You know, if they make the playoff, we'll have content through January, and then you're just a couple of months away from March, and like recruiting's going to be big. And she's like, in the transfer portal, it's like she has no clue how the transfer portal works, but she knows that means that Boogie's going downstairs to make a video because somebody entered their name into the portal. It's gonna be a fun off season. Noah James in the house. What's up, Noah? Matt Dummett is here. What's up, Matt? Short Fuse in the house. Mike Jones is here. Says go Big Orange Boogie. Big Orange Boogie. That's the nickname. Alan V Troll Patrol doing what he does. He's trolling in the chat. Colby. You know, Alan V used to be the only Georgia fan that I liked, and then I started thinking maybe Colby's okay. And you know what? And then I thought about it, and I said, what do we really think about Georgia fans? And this is what I came up with. I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none. That's what I think about Georgia fans. Dave Shoemaker's in the house. What's up, Dave? Pigskin Feet is questioning 1998. I would imagine he is here from Uncle Lou. They all say the same things. John Hill is here. What's up, John? Appreciate you being in the chat, buddy. Let me run down some super chats. We got some super chats coming in. Let me hit those real quick, and then we'll get things rolling. Ed is for UT for $10.02. Says strap on the orange helmets, and let's go slaughter the chickens. Go Big Orange, Bruins, and Bears. JP, you weren't here last night for the fan call-in. Me and Dauber kind of chimed in on it. What do you think about the orange helmets and the uniforms?
Yeah, I mean, I like them okay. I'll be interested to see them actually on TV Saturday and see what they look like. My first impression is it kind of looks too much like Clemson, though. I'll just be honest. But again, you know, like we've talked about on here before, I really don't care what they wear. You know, I mean, just win the football game. But you know, I mean, to me they look nice, but that's the only thing is it looks a little bit Clemson to me, but
you think it looked better with orange breeches?
Possibly. The only thing about that is that orange is so hard to match up with everything.
Well, I think that's
it just makes you wonder, if that helmet would look so much different than the actual pants.
I think that's why they are keeping it with the solid white. But you know, since you weren't here last night, and we probably got some people in the chat that weren't here last night, I said, you know, to all the people they're haters and negative and don't like it, you know, they're like, oh, it's tradition. First of all, it's a completely different color orange than Clemson orange.
Oh yeah, so, yeah. But I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying just the.
You know, it doesn't have to be orange and white. Tradition, this tradition. You know what's tradition? Winning football games. Yeah. And we're back to that. So it doesn't matter what they get out there and play in as long as they're playing well.
Well, I mean,
if I'm going to criticize the uniform, and me and JP were talking about this off air earlier today, I wish they would put an outline around the power tee on the orange and the black. Even though on the field the black looked great, like it looked so clean. But when I saw the pictures, I was like, they need like a white outline, orange outline, something around that tee, and that's the vibe I get from the orange helmet too. But when it was on the field, it looked great. It looked so clean.
I'm all for going back to the black outline on the road whites.
Oh yeah. I love that look. I love that look.
The white with the orange numbers, they sometimes fade and you can't really pick it up. And if you're at a road game, live it's really hard to tell. On TV, it's sometimes hard to tell. But you had those, the black outline. Man, those numbers just popped. You knew exactly who it was.
And that's why they put it on there, was for the broadcast team, because they couldn't see the numbers.
Yeah. Like I told you today, Boogie, my biggest thing with any of our helmets is I wish that we had a larger power tee on there. They have shrunk that over the years, and probably because of the way that the helmets are made now, and they have those holes in them, up there at the top and stuff. They probably do that so the decals will stick on there better. But I miss the larger power tee on the helmets.
Let me hit a couple more super chats real quick. Then we're going to dive into, some Shane Beamer. Like it is so entertaining. John Hill for $10. We can start the show now because John dropped a $10 super chat. We appreciate it, John. Let's give the college football playoff crew something to talk about on Saturday. Vols by a hundo. Go Big Orange. Somebody asked me in the Facebook group today if I thought Tennessee could score, or maybe it was on Twitter, I can't remember, if I thought Tennessee could score 60 against South Carolina. 100%. Their defense is trash. Tennessee can score 60 in both of these games against South Carolina and Vanderbilt. But if John wants to go hang a hundo, I'll go hang a hundo. I'm good with that. Dakota for 5. What's up, Dakota? 9-1, about to be 10-1. Give me a damn yeehaw. It's great to be a Tennessee Volunteer and duck the Cox and Bulldogs. Thank you, Dakota, for the super chat. Dude, that's what I keep saying over and over and over. I feel like so many people in this fan base were so geared up going into Georgia. We lost to the best team in the country, and now they bailed. But don't worry, because guess what? They'll be back. They will be back here in just a couple of weeks when the college football playoff kicks off. Radman Chris for 10. Get your cleats in the ground. Apparently, Radman Chris, that is the way to stop this Tennessee offense. But you notice everybody in that clip struggled to stop this Tennessee offense. So I don't really think that that's going to be a problem coming up. What's up, Wayne? Good to see you in the chat, buddy. Angry Titans in the house. What's up, Angry Titan? Tilly is here. Why are you always yelling? All Alan does is yell. I don't know how he has. I don't think he can just carry on a civil conversation. Look, I don't want to get too much into the college football playoff because I feel like it's all we have talked about for 2 weeks. But JP's not been on this week. JP, how do you think this thing's going to play out? The college football playoff rankings, no surprise that Tennessee comes in at 5th. That's no surprise there. You got Michigan and Ohio State going to play each other. The media starting to hype USC. How do you feel? Let's say Tennessee goes out. They take care of business this week. They take care of business against Vanderbilt. What are your concerns, and where do you think Tennessee's at going into this thing?
Well, I think that the biggest concern would be is if USC does win out, because the fact that they are going to be playing UCLA this week, then they have to play somebody help me here,
Notre
Dame, and then they would end up playing probably Utah again in a rematch in the Pac-12 championship game. And if they win those 3 games, that's going to be looked at as a pretty significant close. So I think that they are the ones. Now, do I think that USC is going to win out? No. I don't think that that's going to happen. The other thing that obviously is concerning is, do they end up keeping the loser of the Michigan-Ohio State game in, especially if Michigan was to beat Ohio State?
How can you validate that, though, JP? I know you're saying what you think they'll do, but how can they truly validate that a one-loss Ohio State or a one-loss Michigan has a better resume than Tennessee, who has 2 wins over what? LSU's what,
six,
and Alabama's top 10?
Yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, we know how all of this stuff works and how much political pull that's in it as far as, Ohio State having a following and always been the media darling and probably the Heisman Trophy winner coming from there and with all that. So I'm just saying those are my concerns. Those are the things that I feel like can possibly happen. We definitely need TCU to lose because it's obvious that as long as they win, no matter how ugly it is or who it's against, that they are going to be in the top four as long as they stay undefeated. So we need them to lose. I think Tennessee is sitting in a great spot because I just don't see USC winning out. I don't see TCU winning out, and then obviously one of Michigan, Ohio State is going to lose. So I think Tennessee is in an excellent spot, and again, like you said, Boogie, when it comes down between them and other one-loss teams, Tennessee's got to have the better resume there for sure.
Let's see. Let me go back up here. There was a chat that came in. Michael Garcia says, how much for a Ric Flair, Boogie? What do you want? Do you want a Ric Flair clip? Do you want a Ric Flair emoji? I'll put it all on one price. I'll shill for money right here in front of everybody. 232 people watching. Dauber JP judging me. I'll put a price on it. $50. We'll play Ted DiBiase, and we'll play the Ric Flair clip, and we'll add a Ric Flair emoji. Why not? $50 super chat. I'm a shill for money. I love money. So we'll do that. Paul Lindsay for $2. Thank you for the super chat. Doesn't have anything to say, just a tip in the old tip jar. Always good. We appreciate that, Paul. Thank you for that. Let's jump into a little bit of Shane Beamer. Let's jump into a little bit of Shane Beamer. I listened to all 32 minutes of this train wreck, and I've clipped some highlights so we can have some fun with it because I felt like this would be a little something different that we can get into our predictions. And again, look, the chat runs the show. You guys run the show. If you get bored with this, if you get tired of listening to Shane Beamer, let me know. We'll shut it down and we'll change gears. But I think you guys will have some fun with this. The first thing he said was talking about the Virginia players, so I cut that out because I agree with Shane. Just a tragedy. Like, what can you say? Just an absolute tragedy what happened up there at Virginia. Thoughts and prayers to the coaching staff, the players, the families, everything. But then he goes into a little bit of business talk. Let's hear some from Shane Beamer.
Will. And then on another note, I know somehow this has become like a narrative. So I want to go back like 2 or 3 weeks to after the Vanderbilt game, because I believe there's a misconception that I called out our fan base for criticism, which could not have been further from the truth. For those of you that were in the room that night.
We're 6 seconds in, Dauber. We're 6 seconds in. Who does that sound like? Who does it sound like? 6 seconds in, he's making excuses. I mean that.
It's a little bit, a lot Butch Jones-esque, but a little bit maybe Jeremy Pruitt if he's, saying, oh, well, you all took that wrong. I wasn't fussing at anybody, especially the fan, Oh, man.
Oh my gosh, it's so great. I love being on the other side of this. I love being on the other side. Let's hear a little bit more from old Beamer Ball here.
Listen to the soundbite, and I said that there was a small portion of the fan base that when they found out that Marshawn Lloyd was not playing in the Vanderbilt game, probably thought that it was over, that we didn't have a chance to beat Vanderbilt. And I said it's the same group or same mentality that when Luke Doty got hurt in August of
I want to hit the
last
chat,
year,
but
that so many people thought our season was going to go in the toilet after that. And I said that we have to get past that as a fan base and find some joy. I did not say that I'm not subject to criticism. I am certainly open to criticism. I'm a head football coach and I'm the leader of this program. So fire the criticism at me, because certainly I can take it. I grew up the son of a head football coach. I understand what this chair entails. Dealt with criticism of my father growing up I've dealt with criticism as an assistant coach, and now as a head coach, you deal with criticism. So I get it. That's part of the job. And by no means was I calling out our fan base. There's an old adage, if you don't know it, look it up, called Murphy's Law, that if something bad.
Now he's starting to sound like Derek Dooley. He's starting to sound like he's channeled his inner Butch Jones, a little bit of Derek Dooley, and then he's talking about choosing joy. You guys know anybody that wants to choose joy? Okay, no, let's hear more.
Bad is going to happen. It's going to happen. And I've been hearing about that ever since I was an assistant coach here at South Carolina, about curses and things like that. There's no dang curse. All right. And my message, what I was trying to say that night in Nashville, was that we need to get past the negative mindset of just waiting for something bad to always happen here, and that something bad is right around the corner. And that's when I use the expression, find some joy. So I get it. With the way we played against Florida the other night, there wasn't a lot of joy in that, nor do I expect people to find a lot of joy.
Choose joy, Hugh Freeze. Choose joy. JP, when you listen to him talk, do you think he sounds like a leader that's confident? When you go to Twitter right now, you go to Twitter and look at the South Carolina fan base, nobody in that fan base has any confidence that South Carolina is going to beat Tennessee. They think they are about to get boat raced. And the ESPN FPI has Tennessee at a 90% favorite. Tennessee favored by 21.5 points. We'll get into some predictions a little bit later, but what do you hear when you listen to Shane Beamer talk?
Well, to me, it's just a bunch of talk, and there's nothing really that's really talking about football. Honestly, it's everything else. So it's almost like that he's trying to make a distraction for how bad that the team is playing, and it's amazing to me that they're 6-4. I mean. It's really amazing to me.
I love Butch Jones.
Yeah.
Don't pay attention to what's over here on the field, but look at this.
Yeah. So I think that's what it is to me. I mean, he might be a good guy, and he might be a good coach, but I think it was interesting that they hired him, and yeah, it sounds like that the fan base over there is more obviously interested in wins and losses than they are, hearing about all of his excuses or everything.
He's trying to play up the, I guess it'd be BCS.
Yeah, battered cock syndrome.
Yeah.
It took me a second to figure out I was like, what is he talking about? People are yelling at me. We got to play the clip. Michael Garcia for $50 freaking. That ain't cheap. He says, we're playing USC Junior and Vandy Boogie. Give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair hashtag. We gonna whip the fluffin'. I don't know what that A stands for. I'll give you 2 claps and a Ric Flair, and I'll upgrade it to a Ted DiBiase.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Now I got to figure out where that Ric Flair clip is hiding. I got to go find it. I got so many freaking clips around here. What clip do you want? Where's Ric Flair? There it is. There's the man. Here we go. Here's your 2 claps and a Ric Flair.
To be the man, you got to beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here.
Love it, Michael. Appreciate the super chat. Very generous. Let me tell you something. I'll make a Ric Flair custom Talkin VAWLS emoji, but don't let me forget, because you guys are so generous. You throw super chats and you come in here and you ask for things, and then I forget. And then I never do it, and then you got to remind me. So don't let me forget. Hold me to it, and I will create a custom Talkin VAWLS emoji with a Ric Flair, so we can give you 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Let's see. Are we caught up? We're caught up. All right, let's hear a little bit. Pigskin Feet says everyone has a price, and Boogie's price is $50. Depends on when you show up. Sometimes it's $25. Sometimes it's $100. Sometimes James Moody shows up and it's $2,000. You never know what the price is around here, but we like to have a good time, and we appreciate all you guys that support us financially. Let's hear some more from Butch Jones, Jeremy Pruitt, and Derek Dooley all rolled into one.
enjoying that. But I also am not going to be on an emotional roller coaster every single week as a head football coach and the leader of this football program either. And I'm going to try and find the positives in everything. And when we have an injury, whether it be to Marshawn Lloyd against Vanderbilt or Luke Doty last year in preseason camp or Jordan Strawn and Mo Kaba against Arkansas this year, or Cam Smith, who missed games because of an injury, or CBS or whoever it might be, it's the next man up mentality and not, oh my God, what are we going to do right now?
This is where he reminds me of Butch Jones, because he's rattling off, right? He's rattling off, JP, every injury that they've had, every excuse that they've had. And that's what I love about Josh Heupel, man, because he doesn't make excuses. He just comes in and takes
truly
care of
is the next man up.
Yes, and it's freaking year 2. And that's what's so comical when all these little Uncle Lou followers come onto this channel and start, like, they want to talk trash. And somebody today said, Tennessee can't get over the hump. It's so comical. You're never, and it's like, it's freaking year 2. Like, none of us expected to get over the hump in year 2. And Josh Heupel's not making excuses. He just goes out and takes care of business and puts in the work. And he hits the recruiting trail. He hits the transfer portal. And, you know, I made a transfer portal video earlier in the week. And it was like, when you look at what he did in year 1 in the portal, JP, it was huge. Like, you're talking about Kamal Haddon, Brandon Turnage, like the depth that he added. And at the time, it's like, is this really going to do anything? But when you look at year 2 and going into year 3, that secondary, he's added a ton of depth, man. A ton of depth, full of guys that are going to contribute next. They're contributing now, and they're going to contribute next year too.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that the transfer portal has been good to Heupel and the Vols, and you know, certainly I know that you know, Hooker was here before Heupel, but obviously that's the biggest one of them all as far as overall just transfer portal being good to Tennessee for sure.
All right, let's hear a little bit more from old Beamer Ball here.
Because this guy's missing. So that's the message I was trying to make that night in Nashville. Hopefully you guys that were in that room realize that, because apparently it's taken on this whole other narrative that Shane is criticizing the greatest fans in America, which is not the case. So anyway.
South Carolina has the greatest fans in America right there in Columbia, South Carolina. All right, let me advance it here a little bit. Let's go up to, let's see, 11:06. This is how do you stop Tennessee? That's what Shane Beamer is going to get into now. We got 304 people watching live right now. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us, watching a little Shane Beamer break down this Tennessee football team. If you haven't done so yet, please smash the thumbs up. We would appreciate that. If you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Get subscribed. We would appreciate it. Look, the motto around here is we're not experts. We're not insiders. We're a bunch of crazy, psychotic fans just like you. If you like what we do, it's for the fans, by the fans. Hit that subscribe button. Click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live, when we drop a video. Angry Titan for 5 says, y'all make it rain in here. My wife gave all my money to Amazon. That's what I do. That's what I do, Angry Titan. I give all of my money to Amazon, and there's nothing wrong with that. Dakota for 2, still waiting on my interlocking UT. Dabber, what do you think about that? I see a lot of people tweeting Danny White wanting that interlocking UT, especially at midfield at the 50-yard line.
I think it'd be pretty sweet. We've talked about Chad Fields in here before, the uniform guy. He did a mock-up of the orange helmet with the cursive Vols on it. And I tell you what, that looked sweet. But, you know, that's going one step further. You're taking away that white helmet, but you're taking away that power tee. And that's going to get, you know, all these people like JP who wants a bigger power tee, you know, that's going to get their panties in a wad because you're taking the power tee off. Would you be okay with that, JP?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm pretty partial to the power tee. I think the cursive whatever would look too much like the Gators.
Yeah.
I would like the just the interlocking tee at midfield. Like I don't really care if it's on the uniform or not. I think it looked pretty slick at midfield like back in the day.
I think 96 was the last year that we had the interlocking tee. 95 or 96.
Was that it? They haven't had it on the grass, have they? It was on the turf.
No. I'm pretty sure 96. I'm pretty sure 96. We had it in on grass.
Okay, I thought
Go
that
back.
went away with the turf.
Paul Lindsay says, "How do I join? Good Lord, do I join or not? Maybe I'm just plain stupid." Paul, no, you're not stupid. It's ridiculous. Maybe you're on an iPhone. If you're on an iPhone, anything but an iPhone, there is a join button right below the video. It's right beside subscribe. So if you were going to subscribe to the channel, the join button is right beside it. It's 99 cents a month. You can give as much to $10 a month. You get access to custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, fan call-in shows, all kinds of fun stuff. But if you're on an Apple product, you have to go to an internet browser because they don't like the fact that YouTube takes some of the money. So they make it difficult. But what you can do is just go to your internet browser, make sure you're on a desktop version, sign into YouTube. That join button will magically appear. You can click that. You can join the channel. There is also a link in the description that you guys can click. You can become a member of the channel that way as well. We're on a membership drive. If you're not a member of this channel, but you like what we do, if you tune in every video, every live stream, you're like, man, these guys are fun. They're like my buddies. You know, another motto is crack a beer, pull up a chair, and let's hang out and talk Tennessee football. We're not trying to be professional. We'll make fun of each other. We'll make fun of you. You can make fun of us. That's the point of the Talkin VAWLS networks. If you like what we do, you want to get more content, hit that join button, become a member of the channel. Maybe we can do this full time and we can do more morning streams, more evening streams, bring you guys more content. If not, that's cool. Just hit the thumbs up. That's quick, free, and easy. But that's the way to get it done. Kevin Smith for $10. That ain't cheap. Vols 52-0. Defense dominates.
Shoo, I'd love to see that score.
What do you guys think? And there's a big time super chat I'm going to hit in just a second. But what do you, Diver, what do you think when, like, there's this narrative, and it's a lazy argument to me because it kind of feeds from last year, talking about this Tennessee defense and how it's not very good. They are still leading the SEC in forced turnovers, and that's exactly what we said we wanted. That's what Josh Heupel said he wanted from Tim Banks, is an aggressive defense that forces turnovers. I don't care how many yards they give up, how many points they give up. The way this offense is clicking, putting up almost 50 points a game, if you've got a defense that can force turnovers, then guess what? We're going to be in a good spot, and they are leading the SEC in forced turnovers.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge key to having success is, the defense forcing those turnovers, getting the offensive ball back. But even more than that, it's just, we've said it all year long. The defense doesn't have to be elite because of what this offense is accomplishing, what they're doing. The defense just they have to slow down. They have to force a couple punts, change the possessions. Hold the other team to a field goal attempt instead of a touchdown. And I mean, I don't think that is really going to play into this week or next week against Vanderbilt because I think it's you're basically back to what November used to be for the Tennessee football program, playing these teams. Just there is no way that South Carolina or Vanderbilt can keep up with the Tennessee offense. I think you're going to see, that tempo, that spreading the field wide, and I think the running game is going to be huge. But you're going to have the opportunity to play a lot of people, just like you did last week.
All right, the chat's yelling and screaming, going nuts. Wayne Starnes for $50. Cheapskate Wayne. Like, Wayne pays 99 cents a month to be a member of this channel, and he drops $50 super chats like every other day. Like, Wayne's the man. We appreciate it, Wayne. Thank you for the $50. He says, go Vols. How's that, Angry Titan? Talking a little trash. They're talking trash to Wayne, saying he's a cheapskate, and he drops a 50 spot. You drop a 50 spot, we play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
I'll even throw this one in there because I like it.
Did you notice the yelling reduce a little bit as the weekend went on? It seemed like Friday was really intense.
For sure. I mean, you definitely notice that, right? I mean, you're stomping on someone's throat, you can get a little quieter.
Let's throw this one in there too, just because why not? Wayne likes baseball. Let's play this
I
one.
don't think anybody, including our fan base, are afraid to be the villains. So I think that that's what makes this play special, is that starting with our coaching staff and our players, we enjoy getting in a fight, and we enjoy the close games, and we enjoy the competition.
Let's have some dang fun. We're gonna come back to Shane Beamer because that's the theme of the show. But let me play this Ron Slay clip one more time, and let's talk about being the villain.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to all the fan bases throughout the SEC and the nation, listen to me. You say be humble. You say take it in stride. You say conduct yourself in the right way. Let me tell you something. We don't give a damn how you think we should conduct ourselves. We gonna act a fool, because no, we ain't never been here. Y'all just said he got a kid that ain't never seen what Tennessee looks like to win. And if you think for 1 second, a Vol like myself is gonna sit back and be quiet when we standing at the top of the mountain, you are sadly mistaken. You hear me? I mean sadly mistaken. We were screaming from the rafters. We were screaming from the mountaintops. If you think you see something now, you just wait. Yeah.
Why does StreamYard have to die? Why does it have to die when we're having fun with Ron Slay? JP, what do you think about that? Like, what do you think about all of the abuse that we as Tennessee fans have taken for the last 15 to 20 years? When we're at the top of the mountain, when we're on the edge of being in the college football playoff, are you going to sit back and are you going to be humble? And are you going to say, yes, sir, may I have another? Are you going to shout it from the mountaintops and let somebody know that Tennessee is back and we just dominated? Like, bring me, I want a piece of Georgia's ass. There it is. I said it. Everybody's at church. They're not watching live. I can say it. I want a piece of Georgia's ass. I want to go dominate Georgia. I want to go put a beating on Georgia and Ohio State and make a statement to the world, and I'm going to scream it from the mountaintops and let somebody know that Tennessee is back. What's your approach, JP? You going to be humble, or are you going to be an arrogant prick? Because I'm going to be real hard to deal with if Tennessee takes care of business.
If Tennessee wins the national championship, yeah, I'm going to be arrogant. There is a lot of people that's given me a lot of crap over the last 15 years. And yes, they will hear about it. I can promise you that. They will hear about it. I've been kind of, through this 9-1 season so far, I've been fairly quiet about it because at the end of the day, we still haven't accomplished anything yet. We still haven't done it, and I know what that some folks that I know that are not Tennessee fans, they think that this is a one-year hit. They think that once Hooker is gone, they think that Tennessee will go back down and will be, back competing with, for third or fourth in the East and stuff like that. I don't think that that's going to happen. But yeah, if Tennessee comes out and they make it to the college football playoffs and they beat Ohio State or they beat Michigan or whoever that they beat in the semifinals, oh yeah, they will hear about it. And then Lord have mercy, if we were to get a rematch with those Georgia Bulldogs, I'm telling you, Pollock, you could see it. You could see it last night on that playoff show. David Pollock was doing everything that he could. He does not want to see Hooker and those Vols again. He don't want to see them again.
Hey, you guys know me. I mean, I'm all orange all the time, all orange everything. But I'll have to admit, going through this amazing 2022 season, this run, I have been walking around maybe a little bit more like Conor McGregor.
Into work on Monday, just swinging those arms.
I tell you what, the guy that works in the lab with me is an Alabama fan. That Monday morning walking into the lab, I queued my phone up, slung that door open, hit Rocky Top.
I wish you would have had a big white fur coat on. Been amazing. Been amazing.
I said, how's it going? Happy Monday to you. Oh, man. But yeah, I mean, I am never one to shy away from wearing orange. I've wore orange, through the struggles and turmoil. And I just took it because, like you said, you had everybody giving you crap. Oh, I mean, like the Georgia fans now saying 1998. I mean, I guess, they had to win one last year, so they could, go back and look up 1998 to figure out Tennessee won one then. Now we can say that because it used to be 1980. That used to be what we could say to them. I wasn't
all
even
they
born
do is
in 1980.
regurgitate what Uncle Lou says. That is all the Georgia fan base that comes to this channel. That's all they do. Regurgitate Uncle Lou. That's it.
So,
That's it.
I mean, it is what it is. The fact of the matter is, it's year 2, and I would have settled for Coach Josh Heupel to have beaten one of the big 3. He didn't beat just one. He's beat 2, and he's got this team ranked in the top 10, and heading towards double-digit wins this weekend, and sitting in ideal shape to make the college football playoff in year 2.
And that's like, you can't come onto this channel and leave a comment or get into the chat and try to take me off of that. Like you're not going to beat me down and say you can't cross the hump. You're not there yet. You're not to the national championship. No kidding. Because we sat here, the 3 of us, 2 of us, I don't know how many of us were here, when Josh Heupel was hired and talked about this being rock bottom. Nobody expected this in year 2. Nobody. None of us. Nobody on this channel, nobody in the chat thought year 2, we're going to be talking about college football playoff. And these Georgia fans can come in here and they can talk their trash and they can say whatever they want. They are terrified. They're terrified, Dauber, because what happens? What happens when Josh Heupel starts recruiting? What happens when the transfer portal blows up? What happens when the talent gap is even? What happens when the talent gap is even? Because you idiots want to talk about, oh, we blew you out. It was a 2-touchdown game. It was a 2-touchdown game, and Tennessee had a shot. Tennessee had a shot late in that game to make it an onside kick, and your butthole starts getting tight because you're scared. You're scared. What if? What if they recover the onside kick? What if Hendon Hooker pulls off that miracle in 15 seconds? What if Chase McGrath knocks the field goal through at the end? You can't take that Alabama game away from me. You can't take the LSU win away from me because it happened. It happened in year 2. What happens when Josh Heupel hits the transfer portal? What happens when Hobbs commits to Tennessee? What happens when we flip Carnell Tate? What happens when Josh Heupel gets elite 5-star talent? What happens? Look me in the eye, Uncle Lou. Look me in the eye, all you Georgia fans. You guys don't have a shot. You can talk about Kirby Smart. You can talk about out-coaching Tennessee. Anybody with half of a brain knows that Georgia won that game because they have more talent. So what happens? What happens when Josh Heupel gets time? What happens when Josh Heupel adds Jimmys and Joes to goes with those X's and O's that Nick Saban's going to retire because he can't figure out? What happens, JP, when we close the talent gap? I probably
going to start winning a
probably
lot
need
more.
to go to bed. Probably need to go to
consistently.
Bed. Getting a little worked up.
How much caffeine have you had today, Boogie?
A lot. Actually, not a lot. I ran out of Rockstars. I had to go to Dunkin' Donuts and get a large iced coffee. That's all I've had is a large iced coffee. But let me tell you something. This Tennessee football team gets me excited, man, because we are winning when the talent gap is not closed. It's been too many times with Jeremy Pruitt and with Butch Jones and with Derek Dooley that we've made excuses. We have made excuses and said, we got to have time. We need more time. We got to close the talent gap. And now Josh Heupel's doing it in year 2 when we were at rock bottom. Rock bottom. Like it wasn't even close. We were at the bottom of the barrel. And Josh Heupel says, I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to go out there and out scheme you. So I dare you to say that Kirby Smart's a better coach. I dare you to say that Georgia has a better coaching staff because you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. I dare you to disagree. JP smirking because he knows it's the freaking truth. He knows it's the truth. And it feels good, doesn't it, JP? It feels good to be on the right side.
Oh, I'm definitely excited about what he's building down there for sure. I definitely am. I mean, my gosh. I mean, again, nobody expected this. Nobody did. But I do think it's funny that there's a lot of fans out there from other teams that they really do. They think that this is a flash in the pan, and they think that this is a 1-year deal, all because of Hendon Hooker. And that's what they think. So, we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. But, we still got 2 more games this season at least in the regular season. And then, hey, fellas, just think. We are 3 weeks away from possibly being selected as one of the top 4 teams to go play for the national championship. I mean,
in year 2.
Never in my wildest dreams. Never in my wildest dreams.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
I've already said I'm second mortgage in the house, whatever I got to do. We make it to the national championship game out there in California. I'm getting on an airplane and I'm going.
Get
I will
some,
not
JP.
miss it.
I got to hit this super chat, then let Dauber jump in here because I know he was about to go. Papa T says for $10, Boogie, you're preaching, brother. Throwing $10 in the offering plate. We'll pass it around. We'll pass it around. We play 5 minutes of clips to start the show, so everybody has a chance to file into church, and we're going to preach. But thank you, Papa T, for the super chat. Go ahead, Dauber. I know you're itching to talk.
No, I was just going to say, we're saying all this year 2. What year is Shane Beamer in at South Carolina? Year 2. What's Shane Beamer doing that we watched earlier? Making excuses.
Yep.
Making excuses. So it's just, I think you said it earlier in the show, Boogie. It is so refreshing to be on the other side of this. We've gone through, 20 years of, roaming in the wilderness and shopping for our coaches at the dollar store and listening to these clowns and their antics and their excuses and their, watching the disservice that they're doing for these student athletes by not coaching them up. You have guys come in with so much potential and then they just plateaued.
But you can't just blame the coaches, though, Dauber.
No.
It was the whole administration.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a key point right there. I think everybody's rowing the boat right now in the same direction.
Yeah,
We're not just spinning in circles.
But when we go back to that, like that whole ordeal, like when Fulmer was called in, and I think the biggest key, we needed a change from the good old boys club, right? We needed to get out of that mindset into Danny White, who is a legitimate, just a businessman. He is a businessman that gets it. But at the same time, I'm not defending Phil Fulmer because he was playing checkers and Danny White's playing chess. But it was almost like we went to the back pocket and said, all right, we gotta do something. Let's get Phil Fulmer in here to stabilize things and try to move this thing forward. Ultimately, that was a horrible decision. But I feel like they felt like they could trust Phil Fulmer. But the reality is we needed to get so far away from that, JP. We needed to, and I remember when everything was going down with Pruitt and getting fired and all, and it's like we had to burn this whole thing to the ground in order to move forward. You had to hit rock bottom in order to come out on the other side. You had to. Yeah. If we hadn't hit rock bottom, then Phil Fulmer would still be the AD, and he would still have Steele in there as his head coach. That was the ultimate play, right? That was the ultimate play, was it not? Like that's what Phil Fulmer was trying to do. I truly believe that. He wanted Kevin Steele in place so he still had that power grip. And I've talked before about a friend of mine that played football under Phil Fulmer, and he said he's the problem. You got to get him out. And I've got the picture right here. I've got it on my wall of Phil Fulmer hoisting that trophy. Me and Dauber have talked a million times about that's our coach, man. Like he brought the natty to Knoxville. He had to go, JP. He had to go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he definitely did. He definitely did. And, I mean, I think that we hit a home run with Danny White for sure. I hope he stays a long time, and I hope Heupel does too. I hope that it seems like that this administration is finally all rowing that boat together, and they're all on the same path and the same thought process and everything, and that makes a huge difference. And again, though, I mean, it's just amazing that we're sitting here in year number 2, having these types of conversations. It still just doesn't feel real. I'm sitting and want to hear pinch myself and with all that and that's why that every single week I get more nervous and nervous on Saturdays, because what's at stake. I haven't had to really worry about Saturdays for the last 10 plus years, because especially in November, because we was worried about trying to make a bowl beating Vanderbilt or something like that.
Goat, what are you talking about, Goat? I went to Twitter and didn't see anything. Can you please give me what you're talking about? Like, what are you talking about, Goat? Like, what are you talking about? Riggs follows it up. What are you talking about? Nobody knows what you're talking about. Give us the scoop, Goat. Give us the scoop. You said we were going undefeated. We lost to Georgia. I lost a lot of respect for you. Let me catch up on Super Chats. This is the beauty. This is the beauty of the Wednesday night show. When the band gets back together, when it's me, Dauber, and JP, there is no better show on this channel. I told these guys, I was like, we'll play the Shane Beamer press conference because we don't have a whole lot to talk about. I didn't even touch half of it, not even a third of it. And we're rocking and rolling. Let me catch some Super Chats, and we're going to dive into this South Carolina game. Corey Odell becomes a member of the channel. Thank you, Corey. We appreciate it. Zachary Cagle for 10. I'd like to know if you guys think that Joe Milton is as good as I think he's going to be next year. Where you been? Where you been, Zachary? Because I love me some Joe Milton, Heisman Trophy candidate 2023.
I tell you, he's looked impressive compared to last year in the mop-up duty. But what's even more impressive is that this young man stuck with this program after losing his starting job. He could have bolted and been somewhere playing right now. But, I mean, you got to give – did you see him behind Hendon Hooker when Hooker was directing the band?
Loved it.
Dancing
Loved
around.
It.
I mean, he is soaking everything in. He is growing, maturing, and honing that $1 million arm. That is what is amazing. He has so much potential and upside. His arm strength is off the charts. His frame and body type to play quarterback is just, if he can learn that touch, man, I think he could be something special. And that is, I know, Boogie, that's why you made, 14 Joe Milton videos.
14, 28.
And you were Joe Milton, and rightfully so. I mean, he won the starting job. But, some things happen, this and that, and, Hendon Hooker came in, and we know what the rest of the story. I mean, he has thrived running this offensive scheme. And the fact that Joe Milton decided to stay when he could have easily left, that sticks out to me as, this is a guy that isn't just in it for himself. He's in it for his teammates, but he's also sees a good situation and he's looking to grow and be better. He didn't look for the easy way out.
What do you think about this offense next year, JP? Ramel Keaton electing not to go through senior day. Brew McCoy's likely going to be back. Jalen Hyatt's got a decision to make, but if he goes, you got Squirrel White. What do you think about this offense next year?
Well, it'll come down to, quarterback play. And I mean, certainly Milton has looked tremendous in mop-up duty and stuff. My biggest thing, and we won't know until next year, is whenever, if he ends up being the guy again, and it's a tough ball game, and, it's not a blowout, and he doesn't have, and he's got pressure on him, how is he going to perform? That's what that we'll just have to wait and see.
I'm excited because I felt like he performed well outside of the Ole Miss debacle last year. I thought he made some good throws. The one thing was the deep ball accuracy, which he's shown this year. He's got it dialed in, and that's what they worked on all offseason. So
Yeah,
if that's dialed in, I feel pretty confident. I don't think he runs.
And I
it
thought
as
he was
efficient
hesitant.
to
run, which I mean, he showed this year. He's
showed some
definitely
physicality.
Yeah. This year he
I like.
has. This year he has. Last year I thought that he was definitely showing that he wasn't wanting to get hit. And I'm like, dude, you're 6'5", 250 pounds. You're bigger than
somebody.
Yeah, I mean, just
especially a quarterback or a safety.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it was the injury because he had been hurt coming out of Michigan. I wonder if that was part of it. But holy smokes, last week when he was in and he ran that little option, he kept it. He's looking to hit somebody. He ain't trying to avoid contact. So I'm excited about Joe Milton. You guys know I love Joe Milton. That's no secret.
I'm definitely pulling for him because I mean the possibilities with him. Oh my gosh! I mean, what a rocket arm!
If he dials it in, he can be better than Hooker. And that's no disrespect to Hooker. Like we all love Hendon, and that's what I said through all the videos. I don't care if it was Hendon Hooker, Joe Milton, Harrison Bay. I didn't care who started. I was going to support that kid. I just thought that Joe Milton, I thought he was going to be the guy. And obviously we all love Hendon Hooker. Nugs for 2, Slaves right, Checker Vandy. I'm your Huckleberry. We could talk about that. What do you guys think? All of a sudden, Vol Twitter is getting soft and saying it's senior day. We got to respect Vanderbilt. No, let's go checker their stadium and embarrass them. Nobody gave a crap when Tennessee was losing on senior day. Nobody gave a crap when Wyoming was beating Tennessee. Nobody gave a crap when Georgia State embarrassed Tennessee. Screw Vanderbilt. Let's go embarrass them. I'm all for it.
I mean, you play the game to win. As a fan, you want to be a fan of your team. You know, it's taking over somebody's stadium. You know, what they did in Baton Rouge, going down there and all that sea of art. Same thing with Pitt. Going up to Pittsburgh, everybody going to the Pirates game the night before. It's just
Vanderbilt planted a flag on the Power T on senior day in Knoxville. Why in the world, JP, would we care about their feelings?
I mean, I don't care if they checker it or not. I'm not going to be worried about their feelings. Go back and watch the '98 game down there. The entire stadium was orange, and I would imagine that next Saturday, especially if we win Saturday, this coming Saturday, and we're sitting there at 10-1 with an opportunity to finish 11-1 and a great shot at the college football playoff. Dudley Field or whatever that Vandy Stadium's called, it will be. I don't know if it'll be checkerboard orange and white, but they will be a ton of orange down there for sure.
Always, it always is. Jerry Miller, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. We appreciate that. Sammy Barnes for 10. This is for a level, so bottom guy can relieve my OCD. Wait a minute, what is that?
That's JP because his.
Oh yeah. Everybody always goes nuts about his shelf because it looks like it's about to crash and burn. But I wonder if it's his camera that's.
I think his. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's the floor.
Yeah, it's the floor. Yeah.
Thank you, Sammy, for the super chat. We appreciate it.
It's level. I promise you.
Paul Lindsay for 20. That ain't cheap. Go Big Orange got my B-Day 66 like last Saturday. So sweet. I need a big orange tea. Happy birthday, Paul. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it, buddy. Let's see. Ryan Barton becomes a member of the channel. Thank you, Ryan. Let's keep that membership drive going. I want like 200 members before the end of the year. It's 99 cents a month. Like 99 cents a month. If you like what the three idiots have to say, become a member. Hit the join button down below. We would appreciate it. James Moody for $50. That ain't cheap. If they drop 50, JP, what do we got to do?
Play the $1 million man.
Okay, if you insist.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man.
Where's the other part?
JP broke it. It was because the way JP said it. He broke it. I'll throw this one in there too for you guys.
What's up, guys? Dane Davis here. Shout out to Boogie Bentley Dauber and the Indie Kid over at Talkin VAWLS Network on YouTube. Vols fans, head over to their YouTube channel, Talkin VAWLS Network. Smash that like button and subscribe, baby.
Apparently, none of our clips work around here because JP doesn't know how to introduce them, and that's why they're breaking. James T. Moody for $50. That ain't cheap. JP, if they make it to the Natty, I will be there with you. Wanted you to invite you guys. Again, we have 3HL from 104.5 on November 29th at Craftsman on the Hill. Would love to have you guys there as well. Go Big Orange, go Talkin VAWLS. I think James is talking about his bar. They're going to have 104.5 November the 29th. That's in what? I don't know that I can make it down there on the 29th.
Is Craftsman on the Hill in Nashville?
Yeah, that's his bar.
Oh, cool.
James has a bar down there in Nashville. You guys need to frequent, show him some Talkin VAWLS love. That's on a Tuesday. That's going to be impossible for me to drive down to Nashville on a Tuesday. That's my busiest day of the week. But if you guys could go hang out at James, man, James is the man. He's a big time supporter of Talkin VAWLS. You guys need to go show him some love at the bar down there
in
Middle
Hermitage.
Tennessee. Hermitage, Tennessee, which is right. How far outside of Nashville is that? Not to put too much pressure on you there, Dauber.
Hey, I mean, you got Google, don't you?
Probably like 30 minutes, within 30 minutes, I would guess.
James, when I was just going to say, James, when the Vols do make it to the national championship game, I will holler at you, buddy. We'll have to.
We need to go. We need to go back to a Preds game. Like that's something we started doing. We need, and it kind of died after COVID. We need to go back down to a Preds game, and then we could hit up James either the night before, night after, something. We got to make that happen. Talkin VAWLS road trip.
Let's go.
Ryan Barton becomes a member of the channel. Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate it. Dan Yoder for $5. Vandy fans don't care. They can leave sore. Let's run up the score. Vols by 50. I'll take it. I'll take that. Thank you for Super Chat, Dan. We appreciate it. We're all caught up. We're all caught up on Super Chats. Let's get into some predictions. We're an hour into this thing. What a great show. Like, I don't know why I doubt these Wednesday night shows. This is when we're firing on all cylinders. JP, give us a little bit of a rundown. Tennessee, South Carolina coming up. Tennessee favored by 21.5, 90% favorite by ESPN FPI. Give us a little rundown, prediction, and your score for Saturday.
I think that they could be similar to the Missouri game. I mean, obviously, I hope Tennessee doesn't give up as many points as they did Saturday. I don't think Rattler runs the ball like the quarterback that Cook did for Missouri, because honestly, if we could have slowed him down, I don't think Missouri scores more than 7 points probably Saturday with that. And again, this offense, just as long as they continue to click, there's just no way that South Carolina is going to be able to keep up with it. I would imagine that fan base will come in after all day of tailgating and partying up. I'd say that they'll be rowdy. So I think it's very important to Tennessee to jump out early and obviously playing there at South Carolina, not let the fans stay into the game and kind of get rowdy like obviously that Georgia did, because obviously we saw that what kind of impact that had with this offense. But obviously South Carolina just does not have the athletes and the players that Georgia has. So I think again that it's going to be another relatively easy game for the Vols. It should be. I think it's going to be around 45-17 Big Orange.
I'll take it. Let me catch up on these real quick. JVol89 becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that. You got access to custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. Guys, show him what he's won. Drop those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis in the chat right now. We would appreciate it. Also, Alex Cole for 10. Thank you for Super Chat. Honestly, do you guys think South Carolina is going to be even be able to move the ball? Love the show, guys. Keep it up, fellas. Dauber, throw that into your prediction and give us a score. What do you got?
Man, all right, I'll hit that first. I think the defense is going to have themselves a day. I think you look at guys like Byron Young. I think he's just going to add to his totals. He's sitting at 5 sacks. I think he gets probably at least two more, adding to that total. I think Flowers is going to have a big game. I'm looking for this defense to get at least 2 turnovers and possibly a turnover and a score. I think they're going to bring the pressure. We've seen really since the LSU game, this defense has gotten better week to week, and they've called games. Tim Banks has called games to towards their opponent to shut them down, make them one-dimensional, or just take away what they're good at. I don't know that South Carolina's really good at anything. I said last night, if I had a concern, it would be special teams, because that's a quick way to shift the momentum in a game. But even with their propensity to make things happen on special teams, I don't think that's enough. They can't hang with this offense. The tempo and spreading the field. Hendon Hooker's going to have a day. Jalen Hyatt, who was looked over, not even offered by his home school in South Carolina. I think he is going to play with a chip on his shoulder. We've seen him this year, get up after a hit that he didn't really like and have some fire, a little pushing and shoving, a little talking, and he's backed up his talking with his play. And Josh Heupel has schemed Jalen Hyatt all over the field, moved him around, worked him open week after week after week, and he is on tape. And he has to be guys that opposing defensive coordinators are keying in on, and they still can't find him on the field. They don't know where number 11 is lined up. They don't know who's covering him. And I think he has a heck of a day. I think he's going for at least 2 touchdowns and 100, 120 yards. I think it's going to be a little bit dialed back from last week. I don't think they're going to hit 60, but I've got them 55-19.
I'll take it. I like it. Everything you said's right, both of you guys. I think Jalen Hyatt's going to come into this game with something to prove, like you said, Dauber, because they passed him over. And the fact that Shane Beamer had to bring that up in the press conference and say, I didn't pass him up. I wasn't here. I wasn't here. That tells you that this fan base is making it clear. Why did we not get Jalen Hyatt? He even made a point to bring up Hendon Hooker. And I'm a Virginia Tech alumni, and I wish he was still at Virginia Tech. Yeah, because you're terrified. Shane Beamer is terrified. This fan base, the South Carolina fan base, is terrified. But let me tell you something. We talk all the time where this Josh Heupel offense starts, and that's running the football. And South Carolina is absolutely horrendous against the run. They give up almost 200 yards a game on the ground. Tennessee's going to run the football down their throat. How does South Carolina respond? Do they play 2 safeties high? Do they bring somebody? If they bring one down into the box, Hendon Hooker's going to put up Xbox numbers. It's going to be Hendo for Heisman all over again. We're going to be talking about Hendon Hooker and that Heisman trophy if they bring a safety down. If they don't, guess what? It's going to be a whole lot of Jalen Wright, Jabari Small, and Dylan Sampson. We are going to run it down their freaking throats, and there's going to be nothing they can do about it. And they can't answer. They're not going to be able to answer. On offense, Spencer Rattler is showing to be the Spencer Rattler that they hated at Oklahoma. He's not the guy that was the big-time prospect coming out of high school. Spencer Rattler is throwing more interceptions than he is touchdown passes. They got boat raced by Florida. South Carolina has no freaking chance. Everybody's saying, let's stop talking about the playoff. We got to go beat South Carolina. We got to go beat Vanderbilt. We're going to beat the piss out of South Carolina. We're going to beat the piss out of Vanderbilt, and then we're going to be talking about college football playoff because it's right around the corner, and that's what we're going to be doing. Tennessee takes care of business. I want to say 60, but I'm going to go 59-13 Tennessee. They roll. It's never in doubt. We're going to be on here for the post-game show talking about the college football playoff once again because that's what we do because that's where this football program is at. It's good times. Darby, you got something to say before we wrap up?
I was going to say this. I meant to throw this in there. If it is a tight ball game, I still think Tennessee wins, but I think the only way it is close is if Tennessee is self-inflicting turnovers or extending South Carolina drives. But I don't think there's any way that their offense can even remotely keep up with this Tennessee offense.
I just don't see it. That's not who Tennessee
either.
is. They may shoot themselves in the foot, right, with the pre-snap penalties. You may have some 1st and 15s, some stuff like that. But overall, this Tennessee football team doesn't turn the football over a lot. Evan counts for 5. Thank you for super chat. Sorry, I'm a little behind. The Milton story will be the next Stetson Bennett story, but with more razzle dazzle. I would like to compare it to one T. Martin to a one Peyton Manning. That's who I would like to compare it to. This year, we're celebrating some Hendo. Next year, we're winning a Natty. Book it. You heard it here first. We're going to wrap this thing up. Just to remind you guys, Saturday, we're going to go live an hour before kickoff for the Tailgate Show. We'll be right here hanging out with you guys, the listeners, the members of the channel. You'll have an opportunity to come on, talk some Tennessee football an hour before kickoff. We'll be live immediately after the game. The day after, Sunday morning, 8 o'clock, I'll sleep on it. I'll break down the game and bring you a 10-minute recap of the game. Sunday night, a little NCAA. We're not talking about basketball. The basketball team's playing right now. And
I forgot they're playing.
There's 361. There's more people watching us live right now than watching the basketball game. That's the reality of the situation. Football, greater than basketball. We've made a commitment. We're going to cover the basketball program, but not until football's done. We will let you guys know when we're going to be doing basketball shows. But this Sunday, I'm going to be playing some NCAA football and talking Tennessee football, college football playoff, all that good stuff on Sunday. No Monday morning stream. Maybe. Never say never. I may just get on here and talk with Eric Kane. We'll see. Gabe's going to be out of town. Maybe I'll fly solo. Hey, screw it. We're going to do a Monday stream. We'll figure it out. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging on the last week of the season. So we'll do a Monday morning stream. And then the usual Tuesday night fan call-in show. Wednesday night, me, JP, and Dauber. Going to be a good time. That's going to do it. We're going to wrap this thing up. For Dauber, for JP, my name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
That we call